Welcome to another video. Today we're doing the conditional tense, something again you use every day in English. Probably doesn't even cross your mind though. Plan for today, learn about the conditional in English, apply it to Spanish, see what similarities, differences there are, and hit up those irregulars. Let's jump right in here. So first things first, in English, when we have the conditional, what we do is we add a word, and that's would. So if I say I would laugh, but it's not funny, right? That I would laugh is the conditional. You would jump, but you're unathletic. He or she would. So with the conditional, we add would in English. And the conditional is just saying, I would do this thing. There's the possibility of me doing it, but I'm not going to actually do it because of something else. All right, we would dance, but it's raining outside. All right, in English too, what we do, if we don't want to say the full word would, we cut it down. So it's I'd, you'd, he'd, she'd, e'd, we'd, and they'd. So these are, again, things that you probably say in your everyday life that you haven't even realized that you're saying, but this is the conditional phrase, conditional tense. Sorry about that, just had a crazy cough attack. Okay, so like I said, I'd, you'd, we'd, these are all the conditional tense. Let's head on down now and see how exactly it's used, right? And as I said earlier, we use it for hypothetical situations and probabilities, all right? I would jump, but I'm not athletic. I would go to the mall, but I'm too tired, right? These are all conditional phrases that we use in English. In English, we also say would sometimes as the past tense. I would go to school every day when I was younger. I would go to my grandma's once a week, right? In English, we'll use would as the past tense as well. Remember, though, that's going to be the imperfect tense, right? That is not not the conditional. That is the imperfect tense. So you got to keep that in mind when you're translating in your head, right? When you would say would, that's kind of fun. Most of the time, I think we'd use it in the conditional in English, but there are those times where we're talking about the past tense, and that doesn't translate to the conditional in Spanish. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, now let's jump into how these are conjugated. And honestly, I think they're pretty simple, right? And it's nice too because we have, same as the future tense, where we're adding to the infinitive instead of giving each ending a different letter. All right. So in these, for our AR, IR, and ER verbs, we're going to add in the yo form ia at the end, ias for two, ia for él, ella, usted, iamos for nosotros, and ian for ellos or ellas. And again, these are going to come at the end of the word, just like the future tense. So I have here a couple examples. So we have yo caminar. Caminar here is my infinitive, but then I added at the end to make it conditional. Yo caminaría a la escuela, pero es tan lejos. Right? I would walk to school, but it's so far. Tú bailarías merengue, pero no sabes cómo hacerlo. You would dance merengue, but you don't know how to do it. All right? All of these are how our conditionals are construed. You take the infinitive, you add the ending. Whoops. Él, ella, usted comería, nosotros tomaríamos, ellos hablarían. All right, so you take the infinitive, you add its special ending, and that is your conditional tense. Super easy, something you will use instantly when you start talking to people in Spanish. So now, of course, as always, it's a verb tense, so there are some irregulars. Okay, the irregulars, if you already studied the future simple, exactly the same. So you're good. All right, the only thing that's going to be different is you add the ending for the conditional. We break them down into three different groups here in which you either drop the E or the I in that infinitive ending, you place a D in place of the E or the I, or there's some totally irregulars that we'll jump into. So let's just take a look at them piece by piece and tack these head on. Our first is the drop the E to the I. So I have here three verbs. And what you do is you drop the E in each one. So now it's podría. So you can see now it's poder minus the E, and then it's just our normal endings, right? These are our normal conditional endings that we have right here. Podrías. Saber is the same. Drop the E, sabría, sabrías. Aber is the same. Drop the E, abría, abrías. All right, so that's our drop the E or the I endings. I don't know why there's an arrow there. drop the E or I endings. All right, and sometimes you're going to drop those, but you're going to add a letter, and that's our next group. You add the D. So tener, you get rid of the E, and you put the D. So it's tendría, tendrías. Poner, drop the E, add the D. Pondría, pondrías. Salir, drop the I, add the D. Saldríamos. Okay? And the last ones are just our completely irregulars. They don't follow the drop the letter rule or the add the D rule. So decir becomes D-I-R, dir, and then you have your endings. Diría, dirías, diríamos. Hacer is the same, except it's H-A-R, habría, habrías. Que habría sin ti, a great song if you don't know it. Then querer, querría. So this one's just a double R here. Okay? So next steps now, what are we going to do now we have this information? Start using the conditional, right? This is nothing to fear. It's not like you have to wait until you're level B2 or C3 to fully understand and use the conditional. This is something that you use when you speak, when you write, when you hear other people speak, when you read what other people have written. So now you know when you see these what they're talking about. Go out, try and use it, try and interact with it, and have a little fun. That's what this is all about. Thanks for coming out. Have a good rest of your day.